Got some breaking news to tell you about right now. The race in the country, perhaps, in New York City. CBS News is projecting that Zohran Mamdani is the winner. And the next mayor of New York City, he would become the youngest mayor in New York City in more than a century, beating Andrew Cuomo, the former governor, who would have been the oldest first-term mayor in New York City. This is quite something.
So what are we thinking about these results? Does this come as any surprise? We know this has been the major headline leading into election night.
Yeah, this is definitely a surprise. I think that you are certainly going to see some fireworks from this. I think it's also to some degree a referendum on disappointment with Donald Trump. Yeah. The amount of money that's been raised, the turnout itself is all a signal that Democrats are hoping to see a turnaround for what's to come in 2026.
And Vlad, how do you view this?
Well, I think a blue district, a blue city elected a blue mayor. So I think they're basically choosing to keep things as they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly they're rejecting President Trump. They're making their voices heard against him, but they didn't do any kind of things to change the needle.
And speaking of President Trump, it was so interesting up until even today, him throwing his support behind Cuomo, right? Yeah. Who formerly they had much disdain there. I think the president was trying to pursue him legally and everything. And so he's throwing his support behind him, but voters saying something else.
President Trump is very focused on the ultimate outcome and the transactional relationship. So he's perfectly willing to let bygones be bygones if it can help him advantageously politically right now. It's not surprising that he went with Cuomo because he completely despises Mamdani, but it remains to be seen how that relationship is going to pan out now.
And so what does this say, when you zoom out and look at this election and start thinking about nationally, and also what we're seeing tonight in New Jersey and Virginia as well, Democrats leading the races there. What do you think about that when it's the bigger view?
Well, again, I think we have to look at the national picture in terms of politics today. And I think Mamdani was able to address young voters, people who have been disconnected. Now, whether or not that will play out in suburban America in terms of winning congressional seats, I'm not sure. I'm sure the Republicans are going to use this and paint Mamdani as some radical, progressive,
well,
whatever.
that's already happened.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
He's a democratic socialist. He's only 34. He really doesn't know what he's doing.
He's Muslim and all of that and everything that goes with it. However, for a party that really has been struggling for a message, does an affordability agenda, does it resonate across America, and does it help the Democrats going into the midterm elections?
How